Ambush the Game podcast. Chris Phillips. I'm your host, but you already knew that. Right now, I got a friend of mine on the pod for the first time. Me and this guy right here, we met in May of 1996. Since 96, he and I still remain close, kept in contact through different job roles within the company. And hey, at one time, both of us left and came back, and we're still kicking it, still tight. I want to introduce y'all to my homie, my friend Chris Waltwood. Chris Waltwood, what's happening, man?
What's up? What's up?
Okay, Chris and I were both shop mechanics, turning wrenches, popping sunflower seeds. Well, he did.
Smoking cigarettes.
Smoking cigarettes. So tell them a little bit about yourself, Chris. Where are you from, my guy?
Man, I am from Coleman, Alabama. 49 years old. Man, not a lot to say.
Not a lot to say. So did you guys hear he said Coleman? Now, for the black folks, I know what y'all thinking. I supposed to stayed out of Coleman. And everybody from Coleman is supposed to be bad. But this guy right here, he and I have been bros from the very beginning and have only gotten tighter over the years. So if that dispels a myth, it should dispel a myth. So you can't pick your friends from what everybody else tell you about a certain area.
No.
So I've been to Coleman several times, and I've actually ate dinner with this man. So say what you will about Coleman. I rock with Coleman.
It's all right.
It's all right.
It's all right.
All right. So Chris, what do you like to do, man?
Man, I'm old. I'm fat. So I took up golf about 8-9 years ago. Went through a divorce, and my brother talked me into going and playing one time, and I just picked it up, and it's fun. I like to play golf. Got 3 kids. I got 2 of my own. I have a stepson. I have a daughter that's 21, a son that's 18, and a stepson that's 15.
Mm-hmm.
And my 15-year-old, he's into every sport you can think of. Mm-hmm. So we spend a lot of time at ball games. My 18-year-old, he's just a baseball kid. He does baseball. And my daughter, 21, just graduated from Paul Mitchell School up in Madison, Alabama. She lives in Madison. She's engaged. She does hair, and she likes to do hair and makeup, and luckily she gets to do it for a living. So, but for me, just golf, and I like to watch sports. Yeah,
favorite team, NFL team. I've never heard you really talk about NFL teams.
Man, I really don't have a favorite. You always tend to go with the Falcons, but they suck all the time.
They ain't been good since the Dirty Bird.
I know, just because they're local, but you got the Titans, but they're about the same way. They suck too.
Well, they've been on a little bit of a roll here lately, but they never can seem to get over the hump.
No.
So, but college football, you like Alabama?
I do. Roll Tide.
Okay, roll Tide all day. Baseball.
Braves. I'm a Braves guy.
Yeah, I think if you're pretty much in Alabama or Birmingham in this area, you're gonna be a Braves fan, right?
But they got a lot of talent. They got a lot of talent over there, so they just can't seem to put it all together at the same time. But maybe, I've seen them win 2 World Series, so
they should have had a third. They should have had a third.
Yeah.
This last one, they should have got that one done, but they didn't. Golf. That is something that I have never really played. Does Top Golf count? What do golfers think about Top Golf?
Well, I'm not an experienced golfer, so it's hard for me to say. When I go to Top Golf, I just practice shots. You hear golfers talk about slice and cut and draw and fade. If I do that, it's totally on accident.
So can you legitimately practice a swing at Top Golf?
Somebody that knows what they're doing can, but if you're asking me, can I? No. No, I cannot. I'm just being honest. I'm being straight with you.
Hey, people, there were some times that when we were younger, we used to get together on the weekends and hang out. And a few times, Chris and a few other guys came down and we partied our asses off on the south side. I'm talking about we got hammered. Do you remember what? Yes, we had 6-shooter. And that was the first time I heard, what was that, Amaretto Sour?
Amaretto, yeah. Amaretto Wood.
Amaretto Wood.
Yeah.
We had nicknames for everything back in the day. And what does the future look like for you? What are you interested in getting into?
Man, honestly, I say, I've told myself the last probably 4 years, if I could just hang on about another 10, 12 years, I would retire. But, man, the way my 401 looks, it may be another 20 years before I retire.
Who you telling mine's tanking?
So I don't know. I would love to retire, man. My wife has a very good job. She can go anywhere and work because she's a nurse by trade. But I'd love to move south toward the beach, maybe in Florida somewhere where there's a lot of golf courses. But thing is, reality sets in, and I know I'm probably never going to be able to afford to do that. So probably will spend the rest of my life in Coleman, Alabama. Doing nothing,
Shit just started looking great.
Yeah.
So there will probably be no more South Side parties for us. Our 401ks are tanking. We're getting old. We're getting fat.
Yeah.
I really don't know what's up. I was thinking that if I could get 30 more years out of this old body, I would be, thankful and grateful for that. But if I can get those, I'm trying to make these last 30 nice. You know what I mean? Yeah. I want to travel more. There are places in the U.S. that I haven't seen. You know what I'm saying? I haven't been out west. I haven't seen Niagara Falls. Have you ever seen anything like that?
Man, I have. I was lucky enough in one of my roles where we work. I had the luxury of getting. Well, I ain't gonna call it a luxury, but it was nice. I did get to travel up in the Northeast some. Spent some time in Boston. A lot of time in New York City, Long Island, Philly, North Jersey, South Jersey, D.C. So I got to see a lot of those places, which are pretty cool. Maryland. I never really did get to go out west though. I went out in my very younger years playing softball. Went out west and actually got to go to the Grand Canyon. I seen the Hoover Dam, but it was all like minutes. We didn't stay long at all because we were kind of pressed for time because we had to go to these places, but I did get to see them. So if I never get to see them again, I can say at least I saw them once. But I'd really like to be able to go back and enjoy it though.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. Not just working till you can't no more and then go home. I want to enjoy whatever time we got left, and internationally too, man. There are some countries that I got to visit during my time in the service that I would love to go back to and just see how it is as a civilian, but not as a broke civilian. Not broke, you know what I'm saying? I won't be broke, but be able to go over there. That's an inside joke for y'all that don't know. We had a guy that we work with. That he would say that phrase all the time. Broke.
Yeah.
I'm broke, but I ain't broke. Yeah. So.
Well, I'm broke.
Yeah. Well, I'm almost broke. I'm like broke, and then a half of the other broke.
Yeah.
But what else is going on, man? What are you interested in? Anything? Any hobbies? Anything else outside of playing golf that kind of takes up a little bit of time for you?
Not really, man. We got a damn kennel at home. We got 2 dogs in the house and 2 outside, so they tie up most of my time. Having to pay attention to them. Thanks to my wife, who I love dearly, but the dogs were her. The 2 inside dogs were her idea, though.
Yeah, well, Reese, if you're listening, I know that's a no for you. Russell is enough.
The muscle.
So, yeah, and I think that for people that know me, I bet you guys would never thought that. Maybe some of you would have figured that I would have had friends that were from North Alabama and Coleman in particular. But there's actually a few great men up there that I have had the privilege of meeting, and this is one of them. So I wanted to make sure that you guys got a chance to meet him, and Chris could introduce himself, simply because I told you guys in the beginning that I was going to get all my friends and family on the pod and make sure the world knew, who I ran around with, and this is one right here, man. What are some of the things that we got into when we were younger, outside of hanging out on the South Side and watching 6-shooter work? Man. It's been a whole lot of little stories, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think we went to did we go to chicken fight together?
I seen some chickens fight. Now
I don't know if you went, but I know I went to some. Maybe we wish you would have been there. Lost a lot of money.
We can't say anything about chicken fight. Wasn't there a guy that was recently arrested or now being sentenced down in South Alabama for a chicken fight? He was running like a chicken fighting ring.
He had like cartel.
Yeah, he was like a what you call those guys? He was like a chicken fighting tycoon.
No, it's called cock cartel.
A cock.
That's what they call it.
Cartel. Is that right? Is that a real term?
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, it is now. I just said it.
Is chicken fighting prevalent still in Coleman County? You know?
Well, I don't know that it was really ever prevalent in Coleman County. I always went to Winston County.
Oh, that's where they got it in at?
Yeah.
Winston, they got it in at Winston County.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, here's a question I'm sure that people want to know. What, if you had to guess, would be the makeup of Coleman County of black people? Are black people only in the colony?
No. When I was a young fella, many years ago, most of the black people were in the colony, and it was a community, and that's just where all the black people chose to live, because I don't think they wanted to go through the crap of moving in, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Trying to move into the white neighborhoods, but over the years with really where I'm from is actually Hanceville, which is just south of Coleman. A lot of people don't know where it's at, but that's why I say Coleman. But Wallace State, a lot of black kids go there. A lot of basketball players, volleyball players. They have a good athletic program up there. So I think that kind of started the trend of black people
being in the colony.
No, being in town and places that you weren't used to seeing them. But now, my mother, right next to her, they don't live there anymore, but there was a black woman and a white man that lived there for probably 5 years, and one of the nicest couples I ever met in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like it was in the I'd say in the 80s. I'm sure it was worse years before that, but that's times I don't remember.
Mm-hmm. So as a child, the colony was already established. When you was a little kid, the colony was already there.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
And I got some very good friends of mine live in the colony. Still live there today.
Is it so?
Good boys.
I think I only been down there like once or twice. Is it like a whole community, or what is it? Is it like a couple of blocks, or what is it?
I really don't, size wise, I don't know really what it is. I never spent a lot of time down there. Just because it was so far from the house for me to go down there. So I just never went. But like my buddies that was from down there, most of them live right on the highway, but I think there's a road that kind of cuts back off the main road. I know they used to have a community center and things like that down there. I don't know if they still have all that. But no, the times I've been down there, I was never concerned at all. It didn't bother me to go to the colony. I didn't care. But I was raised with black people, so it didn't bother me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just funny when you see, especially being from Birmingham, and not really knowing until I met you and a few others in the shop that part of town or the area even existed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you kind of maybe heard about it, but you never been there.
Oh yeah, this is on the interstate. Says colony exit.
Yeah,
I'm
talking about the colony, Coleman too. You heard of Coleman, but I had never been that way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I had never been. Probably when I was young, the most up 65 I went was maybe somewhere in Blount County, but it was right off of 65.
Yeah.
You just never really ventured up that way because
Right.
you didn't know anybody. But let me ask you this: when you were growing up, what did you think you would become? What was your ambition? What job did you think that you would ultimately, or what career?
You're gonna laugh when I tell you this. Actually, when I was in school, I wanted to be a logger. That's what I said I wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
Was a logger. And I started off at Wallace State on a full leadership scholarship. How I got it, I really don't know, but I'm thankful I did.
Mm-hmm.
I did piss it away. I lasted about 2 quarters. I F8 about every class up there that you could. But I decided I don't know. I guess I always felt like I just wanted to go. I was always only supposed to go to school for 12 years. Never really thought much about college. When I got in college, man, I picked up a few extracurricular activities that I enjoyed doing, and kind of pulled me away from college a little bit.
Yeah, I remember hearing the stories about playing softball. You used to be big into softball, didn't you?
Yeah. I wasn't worth the shit, but I loved it.
Them was some fun times.
Kind of like golf. Yeah.
So, I can't remember what I thought I would be when I was young, but when I got into my teenage years, I thought for sure I would be a rapper or some type of DJ. Simply because Run DMC kept me out of trouble. And that's all I did was like make beats and scratch records and stuff. So I thought for sure I would be a rapper or something. I never saw this day.
Yeah.
But we,
No.
being where we are right now.
I would agree with you. I didn't see it for me either.
Yeah, but I do appreciate the journey though, and the people that I have met along the way. But this isn't where I saw. This isn't where I saw myself. So when you think about, when you look at your kids, you mentioned having the 3, and your daughter being grown. What do you see for them? Do you see them taking more of the opportunities that you may have not taken, or you try to be encouraging and say, hey, don't do what I did?
Yeah. Well, I hope they do. I'm probably not the best mentor for anybody.
I'm sure many of us, if we were honest, would probably be the same way.
I hope that I'm lucky enough that my daughter, that she graduated the Paul Mitchell School, and she's doing well for herself and supporting herself. And I've got one that he'll be graduating this year, and hopefully he gets a scholarship to play some JUCO baseball. And then the youngest one, man, he's into every sport. I mean, but he goes to a small school where they really don't have enough kids to specialize in sports, so he plays everything. His father's got a business. He may end up with it one day. I don't know. But his mom, is steady on him about, he needs to go to school, he needs to go to college, which looking back now, do I wished I would have finished college? Absolutely. I wished I would have finished college, absolutely. But I didn't, so I have to deal with it and, take the punches and move on.
I don't know. I think, so my 2, one went to college and one didn't. One, the youngest, he made it one semester. And he did great in the class, but he just didn't have any interest in going.
See, that was me. I didn't have the interest in going.
I mean, so what do you do? I mean, as a parent, you can't force them to do it, because they're not going to be their best because they don't want to be there.
That's right.
Right? So you just have to find, I guess, ways. But I think for men, we get so wrapped up in what we want for the kids, especially our sons.
Yeah. There's no doubt. That's with Zane, baseball. He's played it since he's 5 years old, and when I say played it, I mean there's summers he's played over 100 games of baseball. Kid's probably totally burnt out, but that's what he seems to enjoy doing. And I may be pushing the whole JUCO thing for him. I don't know. He may not even want to play, but my thing is, when he graduates school, it's up to him what he wants to do. If he doesn't want to go to college, he wants to go get a job, what can I say? That's what I did,
Yeah, I mean, when you look back at it now, what we were thinking versus how real life and reality is, it never pans out, man.
No.
It never pans out. I mean, it's hard to figure out what you're going to do, much less try to get your kids to do what you want them to do.
That's right.
Especially as they get a little age on them.
Yeah.
So, but
at 12 they know everything. So
yeah, already.
Yeah.
And nowadays with these cell phones and how much technology they have at their fingertips, they actually know more than you.
Hey, I had a pager. That's how old I am.
Pager. We had a
pager.
And you had to buy it yourself.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Wasn't no plan.
Yeah, man. So, as we go through these days, man, I'm gonna let you know and everybody listening know I enjoy, since we've gotten back together and back on the same team, hanging out with you. And I hope we can have many more these days while we get old and fat and still be bros. How about that?
I'm down.
All right, man. I wanted y'all to meet one of my friends from 1996, and he and I are still rolling. Chris Waltwood, everybody. Appreciate you coming on the pod, man.
No problem. And Coleman ain't as bad as you think it is.
That's
and
right.
I did just use the word ain't. Yes.
That's right. And I've been there to prove it, so I second him on that right there. Ambush the game. Question everything you think you know.